A couple of weeks ago on our program, David Hillock talked a little bit about bringing our tropical houseplants indoors now that the weather has started to cool off. It is a good idea to have your houseplants outside during the warm months so they can take advantage of the extra heat and the extra light and do more photosynthesizing and store up some carbohydrates that they can use throughout the winter months. It's a good idea to bring them into a covered patio or carport or porch type area to slowly acclimate them to these lower levels of light. Sometimes if you bring a plant that's been growing in an area with high light into a dark area, it can go into a little bit of shock and drop its leaves. Another good thing about bringing some plants into an area where you can kind of monitor them is that you can look for those pests that may be feeding on the plants while they've been outside. If we have any white flies, aphids, mealybugs, or spider mites, things like that, those can usually be taken care of with the dousing of insecticidal soap. Now, we also need to monitor the plants and look for larger insects like maybe caterpillars that we can just pick off by hand. And also be on the lookout for any larger creatures that might be hiding in your pots. I've known gardeners that have inadvertently brought in large leopard frogs, centipedes, and other things like that that were hiding in the pots. So make sure you check your plants for any of those hitchhikers. Well, once you've got your plants acclimated to the lower light, you've got them all cleaned up, free of pests, and brought indoors, you can cut back on the amount of water and the amount of fertilizer that you had been giving the plants. Well, if you've ever had a house plant that got too dry and the soil ball shrunk up, you know that they're hard to water. Right here we've got an example of a small Sansevieria, mother-in-law's tongue, and it's shrunk up so bad, it's gotten so dry that it almost just falls right out of the pot. So there's quite a gap in between the soil and the edge of the pot. So whenever we try to water this, most of the water just runs right through and it doesn't wet that soil ball. A way to remedy this problem is to just take a pencil and just kind of go around the edge and just kind of break up that soil ball and just kind of lightly tuck or tamp some of that soil down into that crevice. It's not really going to hurt the plant, but just fill up that little canyon or that little crevice where all the water is getting away. But again, just kind of go around the entire root ball, kind of tamping that in there. Once that's done, you can fill this up with water. It won't run out the bottom, and it'll soak into the root ball, and water your plant the way it needs to be watered.